The Little Woods, issue 6, Carmen Maria Machado, writing with Danny Strips on the art. Final issue here. And I think this issue suffers a little bit from kind of just rushing through a conclusion, because it feels like the pacing in this is so different to every other issue in this book.
It felt like it needed another issue.
Yeah.
Or two.
I think it's frustrating because I like everything that is in here. Like, I do like all of the beats. I just do feel like we need another issue to pace this out consistently with the rest of the book.
More time for L and V to process this and to make the decision, you know, what they choose to do and how it ends up in
even before
Shudder to Think.
Even before we get to that point, though, I have a problem with just how quickly they run into this party and like save the girls and like punch the guys. Like, it feels like a 3-page like action sequence when it feels like there should be some tension of them like sneaking in or like seeing how difficult it's going to be or whatever. But it's just such a almost a nothing moment of them just running in and whacking them.
And then the ultimate, you know, resolution of what they end up doing and how they banish almost these people. You know, it's just, this book was so good up to this point, and it's very rushed ending. Because it doesn't quite stick.
I kind of like the idea. I like the idea they you know, they have the mushrooms that make you remember. They have the you know, the whatever that makes you forget, and they give people choices. They make bottles of like, if you want to forget, you drink this. If you want to remember, you drink this. And they give everyone a choice. And there's like a throwaway line at one point where they say in the narration, like, some people claimed they could tell which women had been, you know, woken up and which ones were still asleep. And I was like, that is a fascinating like new status quo to explore. Like, please spend some time on that idea.
It's almost worthy of a sequel idea, almost.
Yeah.
Which, so maybe, I mean, if it comes out there is a sequel to this book in the works, that would negate at least my concern with that.
Something as simple as like, you know, do the women who have taken the drug to remember, do they look down on the ones who have chosen to forget? Is there some kind of weird like line that's been drawn there? You know, and then do we sort of do we extrapolate that into like sort of like talking about people who have chosen to speak out about something and those who have not been able to speak out? Like there's a lot of like thematic things and the metaphors you could take from that, which, you know, always timely, but super timely in these last couple of weeks with the speaking out movement, especially specifically in the comics industry. So, you know, I do feel like it rushes through some of this stuff here at the end, and I thought that was a bit of a shame. I felt like I zoomed through this book so quickly, and I was like, oh, well, it's done already. Okay.
Yeah. It is my biggest disappointment because, like I say, I like all of the beats. I don't think there is any moment in this issue that I dislike.
No, I don't like that we didn't get a lot of time with it though. I felt like you're just breezing past things. You know, like I want to see them go, like Pete was saying, sneak in and how they're going to deal with the boys, because you don't necessarily want a face-on confrontation. So an issue of them sneaking up there, knowing that what they're doing is you know, like the fate of the town rests on them being successful.
Yeah,
right?
Because there's a really dark moment where that one creepy guy from the, you know, back from issue 1, the movie theater, where he kind of smells at him and says, hey, you know, he says something like, oh, you begged to forget, you know, last time I did this to you or something like that. You know, it's really sick and icky. But like after that, the guys are kind of gone, and it's the mutilated men who, you know, that have been punished, and then the various animals of the women who have transformed. Like, like it gets to that so quickly that I really wish it was more of a challenge to actually, you know, go in and fight in the first place. But so that was kind of that, and then just the rushing through all the ideas from later on is my thing. But you know, I mean, obviously it doesn't betray any of the ideas that it had. It doesn't like step away from anything or make any big missteps in terms of what the story is. It needed more room to breathe. Is the thing.
It's a little frustrating, a little disappointing.
Yeah. No.
Far from the worst ending of anything I've ever read either. So, you know, it's not a damning thing that ruins the book overall.
Yeah, I guess that's not a bad thing when you said it left you wanting more in that way, because you wanted them to decompress. You know, because nothing's really missing. It's just all slammed together. So
yeah, and there's kind of an ambiguous element to the ending where you don't know which bottle they're taking, because they make a choice between the two bottles, but it purposely hides it in silhouette, and then, you know, they're just lying there together, and you don't know if they've chosen to remember everything and go forward with it.
there's an implication, I would say, that they did choose to remember, because they talk about how the bells, where when you're ringing the bells, get a rest, and there's this awareness of it.
Well, and they also use the metaphor of the lamps of the slaughter.
Yeah, and then they kind of bring this up at the end after they've taken it.
Yeah, and that was the other bit part that really hit home with all the real stuff in the world, is when they said that no one in the town was surprised that all these accusations of what happened with the boys came out. They already knew. It was worse. They already knew, and this was just like, oh, they got caught.
It was how they'd been careless. Yeah, the lesson was not don't do what they did. It was don't get caught.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's still very topical. It's still very hard hitting, and a lot of it steams in what it's doing. But from a story,
you still see all the final page. It pans down underground and shows you all the monsters are still under there.
Yeah,
just under the surface, wait.
Yeah, nothing's gone. Nothing's been fixed or solved. Yeah, which again is very true to form, and that's a fine ending. I just wish I had more time in this last, just to really
Me too.
breathe and delve into these ideas.
Just needed to be 7 issues instead of 6.
Yeah. I think all of the stuff about what happened after they won the fight should have been in issue 7, and the entire encounter of how they won should have been issue 6. But hey, that's the final issue. Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this a 8, because again, it's all. I didn't hate anything or dislike. I just, wanted more.
Connor?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5, just because I do like everything that's there. It's just a little rushed.
Yeah, I'm leaning more toward. I'll probably go with a 7. I think still good. Still things in there that obviously pay off what we're doing, but I just wish there was some breathing room.